so it's in my blood, and I've always loved kids, and I actually did used to play teacher all the time when I was a kid and have all my favorite stuffed animals and put them in rows.
I've been interested in teaching for a while, and when I really sat down and thought about what I would enjoy teaching the most, visual art just seemed to be natural for me. I think I connected well with the little kids in those kind of beginning stages of just expressing their ideas and being able to create something that they're proud of.
I have often joked that I am basically an anti-technosaurus, so my level is about a 1 or a 2. It's been a very scary and difficult transition. Like, just the palpitations, your body's like, okay, and just thinking about, I hope the kids like it, or is this gonna flow okay? Is everything gonna work? I think I maybe doubled down and even overly compensated for my weakness in technology and just really tried to prepare for every eventuality and logged into the Zoom session prior so that I could practice the camera angles and the various ways I had stuff set up that I needed them to see. Went out and I got this easel from Goodwill and just tried to find some little things. And
here I would keep a notebook in front of me where I do attendance or if I had any notes at any points I wanted to make sure I hit upon. Actually, I've got my computer on top of a cardboard box. It's about 8 inches up off the table, because when I'm teaching, even in a classroom setting, I like to get up and move around a lot. I don't like to stay seated often when I'm teaching, so I would get up and move around too. That way I could easily just move the camera up and come over here and start talking about something over there and hold things up to them. I had to put this is just like a cheap, nasty halogen shop lamp up there, and so I had to hang an old tablecloth over it to just kind of cover up some of the glare. Helps a little bit. It still looks like I've got aliens landing behind me.
I mean, I'm lucky I do have the 2 computers that I would use, so I would literally just have this one set up on one side and this one on the other, so they matched, and then I would just play what I wanted on this video, and then I hooked speakers up.
A friend of mine, Ryan Webb, is an art teacher. He told me about using a smartphone as a document camera. So I could just use my phone and join the class that I was in using my smartphone, right? And then I have old camera tripod set up right here. And so what I could do is I could take my phone and I could put it on the tripod and I could flip here and I can demonstrate something. I could draw something and show them. I could draw something right here. I could hold up something to demonstrate. So it was really, really useful that way. Just thinking back on how scared I was when I first started to try this out, and that, once I've experimented with the tech and got some of the kinks ironed out with that, just trusting my own instincts of working with kids and getting them to engage and interact with the lessons and with each other and with me, trusting in that was really helpful, and just trying to build that sense of community in this remote learning kind of format was really helpful.
I really liked the flower because it was really hard and challenging.
Yes,
and
it was.
It really took some brain power.
Yeah.
And I liked because we all came up and we all grouped up together to try to figure it out. And if it broke, we all tried to solve the problem.
I think I really learned just how flexible kids are.
Oh,
and something to launch it with.
Cool.
Can you please position the camera?
Okay.
So he's gonna get some thrust going.
So you pull back, and then when you let go,
Oh, I can tell that really
Fell on the
far
ground.
too.
I have a foam plane.
You know, they became more engaged. They became more emotive and more excited and more willing to take a risk and jump in with conversation with a peer even, like, hey, what you doing? Or what are you building on that? And they would start talking back and forth to each other, which was really cool. It's much more like what you would want in a classroom situation.
As I alluded to previously, like previewing what your setup is and like making sure that the camera is going to project to certain places the way you think it will, and explore the lighting. Like I had to, play with the blinds, like, oh wait, or this light here, and so the lighting.
Yes.
is-
You
And
got-
this, I don't know if you can tell on the camera, but this, oh yeah, you can tell. This spins.
Wow.
This is a gear, and I can turn it by this little thing right there.
Okay. That is so interesting.
to like just having things that still make you feel comfortable, and it feels like a real kind of classroom. And that it has to be functional.
When the face-to-face time, using Zoom, teaching a lesson, allowing them some independent work time while they would kind of go off and work on the project, and just check in with them. Just use their name and say, hey, how's it going? Are you stuck? Is everything going all right? Just getting some feedback from them about where they were in their process, where they were with whatever it is they were trying to figure out, I think really helped keeping them engaged and keeping them focused on what they were doing.
As I went on, though, it did get easier, and I just realized, I think I stopped putting a lot of more pressure on myself, and just tried to let myself be who I am and just work with what I have.
The kids learned kind of Zoom etiquette naturally. Like, hey, I've got a crying baby brother in the background, they'd hit the mute button, right? And then they'd want to say something, they'd have a question, they'd think they'd unmute, they'd ask their question, and if it was still really noisy, they would mute themselves again. So, and sometimes you'd have to ask the student, hey, it sounds like it's really noisy there, can you hit the mute button until the noise clears up? And they do that. But it's great to you can unmute all the kids too. And I really enjoyed having the kids work unmuted, especially a lot of students who will sometimes think out loud and kind of talk out loud about what they're thinking. That's great to hear, and you get to hear that in the classroom. And then that can be an entry point for conversation. It was nice too, because then the kids get to chat back and forth, and talk back and forth, much like they would in a real classroom.
What are we supposed to be building?
Oh, James, yeah. We're building fun hats.
Okay. I just needed to know if we were building it. I didn't know.
Oh, sure. Yeah, we're building fun hats.
I'm making my hat. Mine is going
Does anybody in this group play Minecraft?
Me.
Show them again. They missed the trick.
Oh, I see that.
Then I cover that one.
That's cool.
Isn't that sweet?